Have y'all seen that video of that woman who's pregnant in the state of Texas? This is her third baby and she's in her last trimester. Now, she's an older woman, so she's having some complications with the pregnancy and she's even high risk. She went to her OBGYN and her OBGYN is explaining to her that she probably should go to another state for the next few weeks and deliver her child in another state. And of course, the woman is confused because she's not understanding why the doctor thinks she should go to another state just because she's high risk. So the doctor explains to her that if that baby dies inside of her body and she goes into septic shock, they're not allowed to do anything. Because in the state of Texas, unless you go into labor naturally, the doctors can't push you into labor to try to save your life. The goal is to save the life of the child. And if the baby is unalived inside of her body could go into septic shock and she can die. And the only people who can do something for her is people who are not under these new abortion bans. The OBGYN explained to her that that's a late-term abortion. And this woman thought that a late-term abortion meant that a woman who did not want to have their child was giving birth to the baby and then the doctors were unaliving the children after they were born. She called her husband and her husband said, "This is a liberal doctor trying to push an agenda and you need to find a new doctor." And now she's on the internet crying because she can't understand why her life can't be saved. Now she voted for Donald Trump. She voted for Governor Abbott. She fully said that she is Maga. And now she's worried that her children are going to grow up without a mom because of her vote. People who are pro-choice are not pro-abortion. People who are pro-choice are pro giving the woman the choice to choose whether or not her life should be impacted by a pregnancy. And now she's learning firsthand exactly how that choice could save her own life.
I want to talk about something important to me. Rural hospitals. A lot of people complain about them. They'll say the wait's too long, the staff's rude, and the care just isn't what it should be, and they're right. Rural hospitals are not perfect. Almost everyone you meet has had a bad experience with one. But the truth is they save lives every single day. And right now, they're shutting down. Since 2010, over 150 rural hospitals in the U.S. have closed. And right now, nearly half are losing money, and hundreds more are at risk of closing in the next few years. Why? Because rural hospitals don't make as much. They serve smaller communities, they get paid less by insurance, and they rely heavily on Medicaid, which has recently seen hard cuts. When these hospitals close, it's not inconvenient, it's dangerous. People have to drive an hour or more to get emergency care. Trauma care, gone. Labor and delivery, gone. Cancer treatment, mental health, follow-ups, all of them are gone. Here's what people don't think about, okay? When a rural hospital shuts down, the whole community loses. Jobs disappear. Young families move away. Seniors get left behind. It's like pulling the plug on a small town. So yes, rural hospitals aren't shiny and they don't have everything, but they're vital, they're real, and they're worth fighting for. And right now, they are at risk.
This morning, the Trump administration rescinded a Biden-era piece of guidance that instructed hospitals to follow EMTALA and said that under EMTALA, they have to provide life-saving abortion care to people that come to them experiencing a medical emergency in their pregnancy. Now, EMTALA already states this. This is already stated in the law, and EMTALA is the Emergency Medical Treatment and Active Labor Act, and it was passed in 1986. Biden and the Biden administration, when they put out this guidance, essentially just reminded hospitals they have to follow EMTALA. Now, Trump rescinding this piece of guidance legally does nothing. However, as a nurse that works in a hospital, the whole point of him doing this is to posture like he's being tough on abortion and to create doubt. And that doubt allows for states like Idaho and Texas, who have already pushed forward lawsuits to try and bypass EMTALA, to pull potentially providers who give people life-saving abortion care in emergency rooms into these long legal battles or end their careers. And that's damaging, right? Like, that is damaging regardless of what EMTALA states. If a state is allowed to create that doubt, that shadow of a doubt in a provider's mind when someone comes in experiencing a medical emergency. Like, those few seconds that they take to call their lawyer or assess what's going on, that could kill someone. And while Trump saying this is disgusting, and the whole notion of it is immoral and horrible, legally it just doesn't change anything. Idaho has been pushing to bypass EMTALA. The Idaho Supreme Court said, well, we just think that there's just too much gray area in EMTALA. But unfortunately for them, that doesn't fucking matter, because as of March of this year, the Department of Justice federally dismissed their case. So Idaho is forced to follow EMTALA and save lives when needed. I do think it's important to point out that it is St. Luke's health centers, St. Luke's medical centers, St. Luke's in Idaho, that sued to try to let pregnant people die. That was the whole point of their suit, was that they wanted to let pregnant people experiencing medical emergencies die. Do whatever you want with that information, but that's who's behind it. Overall, essentially nothing has changed. It's just posturing, and you can still get an abortion by mail in all 50 states. You can still get an abortion if you are undergoing a medical emergency during your pregnancy in all 50 states. And anyone who says otherwise is a piece of shit and lying. So just keep those things in mind. And Godspeed to all of the emergency medical professionals and OBGYNs in these Republican states, because regardless of what the actual law is, their states are just trifling, and they deserve better, and the pregnant people there also deserve better.
We have 258 million United States citizens who are above 18 years of age. Now, 75% million voted for Donald Trump. 75.5, name it, 75.5, right? Voted Donald Trump, right? Now let's say that's 9% of the population, which is eligible to vote. You know, let's say now 20-something, 6, benefit of doubt, voted Kamala Harris. How much is that? 54%, 55%. 45% of Americans who are eligible to vote either didn't register to vote or didn't vote. That is 45% of eligible Americans. The silent majority didn't vote.
I think one of the reasons why so many rural people voted MAGA is if you come to a small town, which my family is largely from, you see it's generations of people who haven't done anything with themselves other than be exactly where they are. So they come for entire people, groups of people, ethnicities of people who have done everything they can to be somewhere else. I would probably be a little bitter and jealous too. And I taught my son this weekend, look around you. You'll be able to pick it out. And if they're going to be so good at picking people out and isolating others, you can turn the energy around. And it's crazy that so many people who would be so against so many things, who would probably benefit from some kind of dental care at least, would be so blind and ignorant to whether or not they would be able to get it, or other people could as well.
I want to take a minute to talk about something that we typically don't say aloud in agriculture. It's mental health and unaliving. See, the reality is that ranchers and farmers pass away from unaliving rates that are 3.5 times higher than the general population. For male farmers, that number's even higher. That's about 43 deaths per 100,000 people. But why? Well, if you're not in agriculture, here's the thing. The pressure piles up. Markets we can't control, weather that we can't predict, and long hours that are oftentimes spent alone. In the culture, it typically pushes the tough it out stance, but that silence can feel really crushing. We've all dealt with some kind of mental health issue. I know I have, and here's the truth. If you are struggling, you're not weak. You're human, and you're not alone. There are people around you that love and care about you, and trust me, there are other options. And I've been in those moments where the stress feels heavier than the work itself, and I know a lot of you probably have too, but we don't always want to talk about it. But if you or someone that you know is listening right now and is carrying something and carrying that weight that's more than they can handle, please reach out. The AgriStress Helpline is a great resource. They actually know what you're going through. They actually have answers for some of your problems. Or you can call 988, which is the Unaliving Crisis Lifeline, or just talk to a friend, a neighbor, a pastor, someone who can sit in there and talk with you. Because in the rest of us, check on your people. If someone crosses your mind, that's oftentimes God putting that little seed that that person needs to hear from you. And reach out. Be ready to listen. And knowing that someone cares, I guarantee, makes all the difference. We're strong in agriculture, but that strength doesn't mean silence. It means standing together for our land, for our livestock, but more importantly, for each other. So in this month of Unaliving Awareness Month, we really need to be cautious and careful and really check on each other, and also check in with yourself. Reach out if you have any issues or if you have any questions, but especially if you're struggling, we're here for you.
I asked ChatGPT to give me a list of the top 10 most hardcore DJT states. And this is the list that it gave me: Wyoming, West Virginia, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Idaho, Arkansas, Alabama, Kentucky, South Dakota, and Tennessee. And I specifically asked for this list because I just want to make sure that I can sleep at night knowing we're all on the exact same page. Until I know that you know how severely impacted these top 10 states are going to be with the policies that are in this big, beautiful bill. This big, beautiful bill is about to blow up rural America. I know I'm speaking to you right now when I say that you know somebody who is on social services of some sort, whether that's a single mom, whether that's an elderly person, whether that's somebody with a disability, or that's somebody who has a diabetic foot ulcer. I know the patient populations in rural communities that I have spent my entire medical career learning from rural physicians in a rural place, okay? And what is happening in the fine print, in the language y'all don't usually speak, because who does, are things that are going to destroy the livelihoods of so many hundreds of thousands of people in your communities, wreck your economies, rip away resources, rip away opportunities, and leave you in the dust. Even if you're somebody who lives in one of these places that is able to afford life and your family and you don't rely on any government services at all, I want you to consider what would happen if you couldn't utilize those services for your mom, your dad. I want you to imagine what would happen if all of a sudden your child had a crazy accident and you needed a ridiculous amount of hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of durable medical equipment. 29% of the population in West Virginia is on Medicaid. Wyoming, 43,000 people. You got to consider the population of the state as a whole too, okay? So these are large percentages of the populations. Oklahoma, how many people in Oklahoma? Hold on. 25% of the population is enrolled in Medicaid. Medicaid, that's not the senior citizens. Those aren't even the elderly people. Those are the young people, the kids, the young adults, the moms. In Oklahoma, the average income per capita is $58,500. The median household income is $59,700. In this bill, it states that anybody making under, I think it's $50,000, will be seeing an increase in taxes. I'm sure anybody making less than $50,000, no matter what state you live in right now, is having a really hard time. Are you not? So now the plan is not only to increase the taxes that you're paying on the minimal income that you do make, but also remove your access to government services like Medicaid. Why? Because you're an able-bodied young person. You should be able to handle it. Sorry. Oh, we don't believe in college here. It brainwashes you. So we're capping our population's ability to continue to climb those ladders of socioeconomic status by being able to obtain high-paying jobs that provide you with insurance benefits. Those things aren't available if you're working trade jobs. And there's nothing wrong with working trade jobs. That's why we're fine paying y'all's Medicaid. But when you take that away, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Do you know how much it costs to buy diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, and pain medicine without Medicaid? It's not just the people of color that are benefiting from these services, and that's what you're not understanding. If you take the population at large, yes, there are a high percentage of people in places like California that are relying on these services, and maybe you don't think that you owe that to them. But if you don't think you owe it to your own community, then you need to look in the mirror. The comments are open to respectful people, but I am a big fan of the block button. All to benefit the person who built his entire campaign by exploiting the very things that y'all care about the most based on your religious beliefs and your morals and your values, being hardworking, pull up your bootstraps, go on, get them, wipe your tears away people. He did that on purpose, and it is so sick. It's so sick because whether...
Hello everyone, it's Anthony. Welcome back to my channel, and I would like to thank you all for watching my videos, and ensure that you comment and so that you can discuss the state and the fate of our country, because it's really scary the times we are living in. And when I talk to some Democrats, like the one I had discussion, she's from Arizona, she told me that politics not my thing, right? And she votes Democrat. So I asked her, did you come out to vote during the last elections? She told me no. I'll be making my conclusion at the end of this video.
Consumer confidence is surging, blue-collar wages are rising rapidly.
Wages are rising, inflation is cooling, and American confidence is surging back.
Real wages, real take-home pay for workers is increasing.
Wages are actually rising faster than inflation for the first time in 40 years under Trump.
You're able to buy more, you're able to do more.
The average worker is up about $1,000. That's a lot in just 5 months.
Real wages increased almost 1% from January through July.
Real wages are up 1.3% over last year and have increased each month since President Trump took office.
Blue-collar wages are rising faster than they have risen in 60 years.
The only other time it's been this high was during President Trump's first term.
This administration continues to be wholeheartedly committed to putting more money back into the American people's pockets.
So Donald Trump in the White House would put that video out knowing damn well that we have the second worst job market since 2021. Not only that, but we are dealing with one of the worst economies we have ever dealt with in the history of the United States of America. Blue-collar workers are screaming for assistance right now. Farmers across this country are screaming and begging for federal assistance because not only do they think that they can't make it, they know for a fact that if this market and this economy keep going the way it's going, their children and their children's children will not be able to survive much longer in this setting. Let me know your thoughts and comments over this way because everything that was in that video is an absolute lie. Let me know your thoughts.
Y'all voted MAGA and now your grandparents are out here begging for gas money. Every time they attempt to hurt black people, it ends up hurting their people, the lower class, worse. I'm going to just give you a brief snippet of the conversation, and then I have some videos at the end. I will not show her face. Long story short, I'm coming out of the grocery store. A little old lady walks up to me, shivering, says she's afraid, but she just has to ask. She starts explaining something about her benefits and how things won't hit for another week or so. But she shares that she's run out of gas. She then shows me her hands and says she has a couple of rings that I could buy from her to help her get some gas. I told her I didn't have any cash, but if she could pull up to the front, I would get some gas in her car. She still began taking off her rings and explaining this one is sterling silver, but the diamonds are real, your fingers weren't turning green, etc. And I told her to put her jewelry back on her fingers. She stood there in shock and said the last few people that she asked cursed her out. And I debated back and forth about posting about this, but the same people y'all be wishing death on in their inboxes be the same people out here saving y'all damn grannies. Can you make it with $10? How much do you have in there now? Nothing? Okay, let's see. How many gallons does it take to fill? $30 fills it up, okay. You must have like a 12-gallon tank. Okay, we'll get you more than halfway there. Okay. You're welcome. I hope you make it there. Make it safe. You too. Okay, you're all set. All right, you have a good one.
You saw that last clip? Those are our seniors. Yeah, those are our seniors. Really struggling, really suffering. No one is taking care of them. You saw it?
Guys, y'all ain't gonna believe this freaking crap. Me and my husband just left the grocery store, walked out with not even 4 bags, and paid over almost $300 and something. Everything has just went up double. Like, what the heck, man? This is getting crazy. We can't even afford groceries anymore. My husband brings home not even $500 a week. And we can't afford this freaking crap. And we went to fill out
around and find out.
To get help. They denied
You're in the
us.
find out
They said
phase.
he
It's going to get
too much.
worse.
Off of not even $500 a week. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. We can't even get help. But that's not the point. My husband, he works, and I can't work. This is getting out of control.
$700. $700.05. That is what I just spent at Walmart to buy groceries for my home, to buy our essentials. Like, I didn't buy anything wild and crazy and extra. The only thing that I would say that I bought that was extra was I bought a couple of those cheap t-shirts that are like the $5 t-shirts in the kids section because my daughter loves them. Or two of my daughters love them. And then I bought a pair of $7 black shorts for my daughter because she needed some. So that wasn't even extra because she needed some. And I bought me a pair of shorts. $700. I can't afford this. Like, I'm a teacher, and my husband also works for my school district, and the cost of living has gone up so freaking much, but we're not raising teacher salaries. We're not raising them. We're not making them match what is happening right now and how much everything has just skyrocketed. Like, it's getting to the point to where we have to choose, are we paying this bill or are we feeding my kids? And I will choose to feed my kids every freaking time. I don't care. I just can't. I don't care anymore. But now it's going to get to the point to where it's like, okay, we don't have a vehicle. I guess we're walking everywhere. And I get so mad when I get people on here that is like, well, get another job. I do. I have another job. I have two other jobs. I am a photographer, which is really not getting any business because nobody can freaking afford it. Doesn't matter if I change my prices or not. And I also do Spark delivery on the side as much as I possibly can, which makes me then gone from my family all day long and not making enough to still make ends meet. My husband is doing other side jobs. Like, we can't afford this anymore. And I'm so tired of, it's not, like, I don't even know how to say it anymore because I'm tired of beating around the bush on, like, the politics about it. I don't care anymore about all this extra stuff. Like, you know, I just want to be able to afford to feed my family. 2 years ago, this would have cost $350, and that still made me want to choke. $700.05 is how much I spent at Walmart today to try to feed my family, hopefully for the next few weeks. Our politicians need to do better because the average American family cannot afford this anymore, and our children are going to suffer. And I just can't.
Okay, I just got done with Walmart. If you saw my video just a little bit ago about how much I spent for just 29 items, I had to use my credit card because I couldn't afford it. I'm a single mom. Come on, people. Trump, everybody, lower the grocery bills. We gotta eat.
FAFO.
Come on, really take this seriously.
Too bad there wasn't someone that could have warned you this shit was gonna happen. Oh wait, there was. And y'all voted against her.
Thank you and bye. This is my rant for the day of Saturday. Bye, guys.
We're here in Florida on vacation. We just got back from Publix. We were like blown away by the prices at Publix. I don't know where other people are shopping at, but we thought the prices were so high compared to where we're from. Like the prices of a Starbucks instant coffee, like a little tiny thing was $13. On my last video that I did about grocery shopping, everyone said to go to Publix because it was more affordable. I don't know. I'm like, wow, we were like blown away. So we spent almost $300 for 4 or 5 days in Florida. We did get some nicer beer, obviously wine, some nice seafood to cook out tonight. But besides that, I mean, just in general, the prices were expensive. We're like, oh my gosh, how are people like feeding more than 1 or 2 kids here? I have to mention the pepper. The pepper my husband got was $4 for 1 pepper, not organic.
How come no one's freaking out harder about how high grocery prices are right now? In 2020, my grocery bill was $100 to $150 a month. Now, it's $300 to $350 a month. And now, I don't even buy meat. I can't afford it. I dumped Publix. I only go to Target because it's the cheapest option near me. I almost never buy the name brand stuff. This is beyond inflation at this point. This is just a full-on scam. Last week, I went and got salt, shaving cream, and a salad kit. Altogether, these three tiny things cost $10.31. A box of salt was $4. Like what? I could rub it on my skin and live forever? It's salt.
There's like 3 or 4 other people on there bitching about prices and how it's ridiculous and it's hard to survive off these high prices. But yeah, this is what y'all fucking voted for. This is what y'all fucking voted for. So you have no one to blame but your damn selves. Because you put us all in this fucking mess. And we don't appreciate it.
You know how I know the Orange Clown is losing his MAGA cult? Because they did not obey his latest talking point. Now, we all know that MAGA is the most brainless, obedient, bootlicking cult in the entire world. And they get a lot of their energy and their sense of community from their dumb little mantras, their little slogans that the Orange Clown tells them to repeat. And we've all heard the big ones, right? It's like, lock her up, drain the swamp, make America great again. These are just like nonsense phrases. They don't mean anything. And most importantly, they don't ever come true, but it doesn't matter to the cult because they enjoy saying them, because at the core of them, the seed of them, is the idea that somebody else is getting hurt. And the latest one that the Orange Clown and his cabinet of freaks tried to sell to the cult was, remember, short-term pain for long-term gain. Now, the Orange Clown said that over and over again, and all of his little goons went out and said it all over the place, all over Fox News, all over Twitter. And here's the thing, it didn't really work. It didn't really catch on. Now, this was right at the beginning of the tariff insanity. And at the beginning, you know, a few of the cult members tried to be good little soldiers, and they went out and they made videos repeating it, and a few of them would spam it in the comments and, you know, what, blah, blah, blah. But it just kind of faded away. And now if you don't understand why it didn't catch on, it's because you fundamentally misunderstand MAGA as a cult. And I think a lot of people on the left actually do. Because how many times have I heard, MAGA does not care about being hurt as long as they are hurting others. And this is absolutely untrue. MAGA are the most spoiled, selfish, short-sighted people on the planet. And they do not tolerate discomfort in any way. And even when they cheer on this regime's most vile policies, it's because they think there's something in it for them. For example, when you see them celebrating mass deportations, it's not just because they're gross racists who want to see brown people brutalized. Obviously, yes, that is a factor. They are. But it's also because they think that removing immigrants is going to directly improve their lives. They genuinely believe that there is some fantastical, high-paying job out there with incredible benefits, and the only reason they don't have that job is because an immigrant took it. They believe that they can't afford a house because some immigrant family is living in the house that was meant for them, and once they remove that family, they're going to swoop right in and be able to afford it. There's some cheese slice lady out there who genuinely believes that there's not enough cheese slices in her fridge for all of her gross kids because some immigrant out there is raising the price of cheese. Shout out to the cheese slice lady. I do honestly think about her all the time, and I wonder how many cheese slices she has in her fridge right now. But back to the slogan, short-term pain for long-term gain. This was a fatal miscalculation by the Orange Clown. And this was a fatal miscalculation by any cult leader. Because every intelligent cult leader knows you keep your cult in line by telling them, hey, you gotta hand over your blind allegiance, your paycheck, your teenage daughters, because the rapture is coming. What you don't ever do is tell them what day the rapture is coming. Hello, the entire thing will fall apart. And the Orange Clown told his cult there is a day of rapture. There is a day when the economy is going to be flowing. There's going to be no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. Your kids' medications are going to be 1,000% cheaper. Your lives are going to be better. All your dreams are going to come true. And that day is January 22nd. And that day came, and now the clock is ticking. And he stands there and he tells them short-term pain for long-term gain? He tells them, buckle up, buttercups. It's time to sacrifice. It's time to be a real patriot. It's time to suffer a little for the greater good of the country. Yeah, freaking right. They might not be in full revolt right now, but their deafening silence at that latest talking point that they were supposed to run with is very telling. Because this is the first time that the Orange Clown has told them, yeah, I'm gonna hurt others, but I'm also gonna hurt you. And that is not what they signed up for. And before you say, what does it matter if they've lost MAGA? This is authoritarianism. They don't even need their votes anymore. Well, that is not how this regime is acting. They are scrambling to consolidate power. They are scrambling to mess with the midterms. These are not the actions of a regime that has it in the bag. And come Christmas, you think they're not going to remember the words of their dear leader, the Orange Clown, when he told them with a smile on his face, well, maybe your little daughter doesn't need 30 toys for Christmas. Maybe she'd be happy with 2 or 3. I don't think so. Do you?
So thank you everyone who has watched my videos to the end, who has subscribed, who has liked my video, and the hardcore fans who ensure that they comment so that we can engage in discussions, and I ensure too that you engage in these discussions. They are really amazing. This channel is a town square. Maga Republicans general, and Democrats, we all engage. But recently, I have been receiving violent words, messages from MAGA Republicans, and that means that we are doing something great in this channel, and let's continue with the same spirit, dismantling this MAGA cult. This MAGA cult, which is worshipping Donald Trump blindly. He is their Messiah, he is their savior. But in reality, we are seeing the opposite. So Trump is a magician. He is selling illusion, something which doesn't exist. And don't get me wrong, Democrats or Republicans didn't give him the power he has today. No, it is the silent majority. In my first clip, which I made in this video, I claimed about the 45% of United States citizens who don't vote. I said about it. So when I talk to several American citizens, they usually tell me that politics not my thing. Politics not my thing. Politics not my thing. Politics is not my thing until you lose your Medicare. Politics not my thing until our kids in poor neighborhoods cannot get these free meals, which ensure that they are maybe on the same level with these kids in these are rich neighborhoods. So, politics not my thing until a military truck is parked outside your door with a 50 caliber machine gun mounted on top. Politics not my thing until ICE showed up on your doorstep, masked, ready to grab your father and your mother and deport them. Politics is not my thing until you are spending extra $2,400 US a year because of a tariff. So, politics is not my thing until FEMA can't save you from floods because you protested against Israel. Politics is not my thing until you are fired from the government because of this looming federal shutdown. So, politics is not my thing. Politics not my thing until what? You are in the ER room, you are pregnant, it's a matter of life and death, and now you have to wait maybe for some letters to be signed, maybe from the governor's office, maybe from, I don't know. Politics not my thing until Donald Trump replaces our constitution with Project 2025. Politics is not my thing until your sons are recruited to go fight a jihadi war in the Middle East. Politics is not my thing. Politics is your thing. Politics is your life. Politics is your business. Politics is your farm. Politics is your education. Politics is your healthcare. Politics is your house. Politics is your family. Politics is everything. So let's become aware of what's going on in our surrounding. And let's talk blue. Let's listen blue. Let's vote blue. And until the next video, thank you for your attention to this matter.